Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for my Grue Rume Show today, I'm very excited and very happy as being a big wrestling fan as I am to introduce my guest, Sony Onoo. And he was in WCW and he managed some of the most amazing talent that there ever was in pro wrestling, from the Ultimo Dragon, and the list goes on and on and on. And definitely, if you don't know who Sonny Ono is, look him up online. Look up on YouTube and see all the people he managed and all the amazing bouts that his people were part of. I'm just so happy to be interviewing him. I grew up watching WCW. I grew up watching him, and it's just an honor. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host, Stutters, as you could tell already. I am the host of the Grue Room, and I'll be joined by my co-host, who is my cousin Billy, and we're both going to be talking to Mr. Sonny Onoo. And as always, welcome to my nightmare. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you, Sonny, so much for taking time out of your night and coming on.
Well, nice having you guys, or nice for you guys to ask me, and whatever you want to know, nothing's off limit.
Okay, there we go. So first, I want to start out by asking you, like, I saw before you were in wrestling, you did martial arts, and you did fights in martial arts. And how was that experience like?
Well, it's one of those, timing is everything, right? I was before UFC, you know, before K1. Me and my buddy, somebody Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
We were fighting in kickboxing. I was with a group called the PKA, Professional Karate Association, and yeah, so I fought for like 1975 till about 81.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, didn't make a lot of money, but I had fun fighting.
Okay. So how did from going to martial arts and fighting, like how did you wind up getting involved with the world of wrestling?
Well, interesting enough, martial art got me into a lot of things. I went to South Africa, did a movie, and went to Hong Kong, did a movie, and because I'm from Japan, so and Eric, as I told you, was he used to fight as well.
Yeah.
As he was trying to repair some business with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mind you, I don't know anything about wrestling. He asked me to come along and try to pitch some of the karate stuff we were going to do, and that was the premises that I went there for. But turned out that I realized during a meeting that he was there to really repair a damage that was done by prior management of WCW, and basically they wanted to have a communication interface person, and they hired me to do that. So that's how I got in wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay. And when you were involved in wrestling, did you go back and watch like any wrestlers or any bouts?
Say it again. What's the question?
Like when you first got involved with wrestling, WCW, did you watch any wrestlers? Like, did you watch any bouts?
Well, I knew pro wrestling, but I didn't know the business.
Oh, okay.
I was up in Iowa, which is 100 miles south of Minneapolis. So we were AWA guys,
Yeah.
Vern Gagne, Greg Gagne. And matter of fact, I just spoke with Greg not too long ago. but yeah, so, I knew of pro wrestling but I didn't know the business side,
Gotcha. Oh wow, okay. And when you first got hired in WCW, like you worked mainly behind the scenes. So how did Eric finally have you go in front of a live crowd for television?
Well, what happened was, I was, New Japan needed somebody who can communicate with the office. So Masa Saito and I would speak with each other, and he says, because he was a talent exchange program,
Hmm.
and New Japan had paid WCW upward of about $500,000 to be able to use WCW talent in Japan. Well, what happened was the prior management, because of whether it was communication or whatever, that never got done.
Hmm.
So, to make up for that, the issue they had, basically communication issue.
Yeah.
So I was hired to do that, and as our relationship got better and better, what really happened was, they wanted to, one day Masa says, we want you to be able to bring New Japan talent to WCW. Well, the problem is, and this exists today. You take Nakamura or a WWE, or you take Asuka.
Yeah.
Amazingly, two wrestling stars, but they can't communicate. They can't cut promo.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Since what we do here in the United States is episodic TV, you got to be able to speak. You got to be able to tell the story.
Yeah.
And that's what, I know they got rid of the most manager, but that's what managers are for. Not necessarily for, English speaking talent, but there's a lot of English speaking talent that can't cut a promo either.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
certainly you need them for, Spanish talent, luchadors, and you certainly need them for foreign talent like Japanese. And once the New Japan wanted to bring their talent over, Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart suggested that I become a manager for these guys, and that's how I became on-camera talent.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And how did you come up with your whole gimmick
Character
with the
and
suit and the
persona.
sunglasses and
Well, it's pretty easy. You got to remember the time, right? It was early '90s, mid '90s, and that's before the economy bubble burst in Japan. They had all kind of money. Yen was really strong, and they were over here. If you remember, I don't know, you might be too young to remember, but that's when they were over here buying skyscraper in New York, buying golf course all over. They were buying up Hawaii. They couldn't get it in World War II, but they decided to buy it. So they were over here buying all the golf courses in Japan, or in Hawaii. So that was a character, rich Japanese guy, here to buy talent and prove the Japanese superior than American. That was the character.
oh yeah, definitely. That was great. I loved it. And you also did films too. You were saying you were doing films. Like, how was there any film you had the most fun doing?
Well, yeah. Well, there was a movie, a film on production. It's called Fearless Tiger. It was released in the U.S. as a Fearless Tiger. Jamie Farr was in it. Monica Schneider was a big time model at the time. Bolo Young, if you know, Bolo Young was the guy who played the muscle guy and Enter the Dragon and Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
he was in the movie. Yeah, so it was. I played the Hong Kong cop at the time, but it was fun. Just martial art. Kung fu flick, and I went. Actually, they offered me a deal to do like a 3-movie deal in Hong Kong, and they shoot movies not like here, right? I mean, sometimes they shoot movies simultaneously, And I
Really?
just, yeah, and and the pay isn't very good, and I didn't want to live in China for that long.
Oh,
Although,
okay.
although my girlfriend, my past girlfriend, Cynthia Rothrock, she moved over there and became Lady Kung Fu. She's
Wow.
probably one of the most famous Kung Fu movie lady. And she's still doing movies right now.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Billy, you have some questions, right, Bill?
Yeah, absolutely. So how did WCW Collision in Korea happen? And working with Antonio Naka.
Anoki.
Inoki. Well, Antonio Inoki at the time was, he was a politician. Not also owned New Japan Pro Wrestling, but he was really a politician. He was a member of a diet, kind of like
Oh,
our
yeah.
senator in the US. And he invited us to go. And and my question to myself was, when do I get a chance to go to North Korea? Never. Especially sponsored by the Kim Sung-il, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So as long as we watched that P's and Q's, I figured we'd be pretty safe. But that's Muhammad Ali was going with us and stuff, so we figure we'd be okay. But to this day, I believe Scott Norton would never, he'd be dead now if he wasn't for Antonio Inoki. And
Oh,
if he wasn't
wow.
for Antonio, what happened was his wife called because he thought he was in, and he thought he was in South Korea, partying every night, not calling home. So she was really mad, and he finally got the caller from, because he can't make a phone call. It's not like he can pick up a phone and call America, right?
Yeah.
So you have to actually call China. China have to call US, and they have to route that phone call back. And
Oh.
so when he got the phone call from Tammy, his wife, and she was just, really angry with him, says, you haven't called in 3 days. I know you're partying every night, and he says, and he said, in his defense, he says, Tammy, you don't understand. This place is a shithole. We're not doing anything. We're kind of like, can't do anything here. And phone went dead. And next thing you know, there was a knock on his door, and two guys with with some machine gun and what, why do you hate our country?
Oh my
Come with us.
God.
Took him down the basement and interrogated him for 2-3 hours.
Wow.
If he wasn't for Antonio Inoki, he'd be dead.
Oh my God, that's
Oh
crazy.
my God.
No
That-
doubt.
Wow. So how was your time in North Korea for the event?
Well, it's pretty amazing, right? We had like, I think it's in a Guinness Book of World Record. It's like 150,000 people one night, 185,000 people the second night. Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, just like you could imagine, they did, they did the parade for us, with their soldiers and all that. And, I mean, it was insane. I mean, they would do on one side of the stadium, they had all these kids with the flip cards. So think of each one of those flip cards as a pixel on a TV.
Yes.
And they would actually do a thing where missile would be flying through the Pacific and blowing up the United States.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And it was all done in pixel cards. Yeah, it's unreal. If you weren't there, you won't believe it.
Wow.
Oh my God, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, I got a call from before I left. I got a call from the U.S. government telling me, says, you shouldn't go. It's not safe there. And I got a call from the Japanese government telling me that I shouldn't go. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
Yeah. So
And,
one of the
like for me, looking back, I'm glad I went because I got to experience it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
mean, even if you wanted to go, you can't go.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. I know.
So it worked
Yeah.
out all right.
Yeah, it's the only way you could survive, not going just.
Well, I'll tell you one of the things. So when we get there, they take our passport. All the boys are going nuts. And I say, if you had your passport, where are you going? It's not like you're gonna hop on a bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to the airport. There isn't it. There's no plane. There's no commercial airline. And Eric, they separated all of us. Eric and I was on, and we had our own interpreter, which is the Secret Service person, right? So we just got there. They take our passport, put us in a, 1975 Mercedes, 240D.
Wow.
It was the nicest car in the world, but it was the nicest car they probably had. No disrespect, but Eric and I are sitting in the back seat, and they're taking us to our hotel. And there's a driver and there's a Secret Service lady. She turns and looks at it and goes, "Okay, you're our guest. Okay, you cannot, don't rape our women."
Oh my God.
That's the first thing they told us. So you got to remember, their psyche. They've been told, propaganda or otherwise, that Americans are heathens, right? They're devils.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're going to eat your children and rape your women. So that's one of the first things she said. Yeah, don't rape our women.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. No intention of breaking any laws in North Korea. Because, I'm thinking if you threw a trash on the street, you probably get life. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Well, you remember what happened to that one kid that went back there who stole the banner or something.
Yes.
Yeah. And he came back brain dead.
I know.
There you go.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's really strict.
That's why I knew Scott Norton would not be live today. I have no doubt in my mind.
Nah, that was really close. They were literally going to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got to remember the final of the show is Antonio Inoki versus Ric Flair, right?
Yeah.
And you got to remember, like I was just saying, they never seen American to begin with. And first American they see is who? Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
Ric Flair. And they're going like, and Scott Norton, So they fit into that heathens, right? The devils, the white devils. And this is their propaganda. They're going to eat your children and rape your women. So and we fit into that mold pretty perfectly.
Yes.
So looking at it from their perspective, yeah, and they had 2 television channels while we were there. One was nothing but pro wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Mostly black and white or just George stuff. Other channel was nothing but, the great leader, Kim Sung-il, 24/7, 2 channels. That's it.
Oh, wow. That's it.
And while we were there, they printed money just for us.
Oh.
Yeah, so nobody can hoard the dollars. We take $1 and they give us exchange. So nobody could hoard the dollar. It was all controlled. Everything was.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do, 3-hour story on North Korea.
But like until you're there, you'll see what goes on and stuff.
Say it again.
Like until you're actually there, you'll see like what you can do and what you cannot do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They told us when we went there that they're going to be you're being listened to 24/7.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you're being watched, recorded.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the best duos in wrestling are you and Ultimo Dragon. What was it like working with him and being his manager?
Oh, good. You know, he's an amazing talent. You know, he's the innovator, as you know, and you know, Asai Moonsault, he came up with that. He's a Japanese guy that went to Mexico, made a name for himself as Ultimo Dragon. And matter of fact, we're good friends. We're still working with each other after all these years. Matter of fact, next month I'll be in New York. I'll be in your neck of woods. I'll be in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Baltimore,
Oh, nice.
20th and 21st. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys should come out.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what did you think of the angle of Great Muda and Chodo turning
Masachono.
Well,
Masachono?
what happened was, you know, we wanted to, so they want to get a rope. NWO was crazy. Okay. I can probably, if it's not the top angle in pro wrestling in modern time,
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's not, you know, I mean, right. To tell you that, so New Japan wanted to get a rub off that. So they wanted to create, you know, Chono joining NWO, backstabbing me.
Mhm.
And so then I bring Muda to avenge my honor, and he turns on me, right? And that's the beginning of NWO Japan.
Yeah.
NWO Japan sold the NWO, the black and white, you know, it's the NWO t-shirt. New Japan sold $8 million worth of t-shirt in 1998, just 1 year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they told me that. New Japan told me that.
Wow.
$8 million worth of t-shirt.
Oh my God. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you then went to manage the women. You managed both Bull Nakano and
Yeah.
Kyria against
I should
Medusa.
hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Medusa, how was that feud with Medusa like for you?
You know, Debbie is amazing lady, and it was great. It was fun. The difficult part, one of the things that I didn't realize, you know, one of the match, I think it was with Hokuto,
Mhm.
you know, and one point, you know, my spot was to grab Medusa, grab her by the hair, by the ring, right? Doing the chicken shit manager stuff. And I didn't realize we weren't supposed to touch the women, you know.
Oh.
So yeah, man cannot touch a woman, but she can kick my ass anyway. But yeah, so you know, they said, and I got in trouble for that. You can't touch a woman. I said,
Oh
what do you
my
mean?
God.
Yeah, she can kick my ass. Doesn't matter.
Yes. She's tough. She could definitely handle it.
She's a real deal.
She
You know,
could.
and she's one of the reasons why we brought those top women from Japan over,
Mhm.
because Medusa, you know, and I'm putting her over, that Medusa really didn't have somebody she could, you know, she trained in Japan with
Yeah.
all women. So, you know, she's used to that real strong style, real stiff stuff, you know, and many of the American ladies couldn't, certainly back then. We were so ahead of our time, right? I mean, WWE didn't start, women started wrestling till about 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They were eye candy before that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So the women, you know, we were doing that stuff way before, you know, it became more of the mainstream wrestling like it is now. You know, Charlotte Flair, you know, Becky Lynch,
Yes.
you know, women who can actually amazingly do some, you know, phenomenal work. You know, we were doing that 25, you know, we were trying to do that 25 years ago. Yeah. I remember when I brought Cutie Suzuki and Miyami Ozaki, you know, those girls don't weigh probably 110 pounds, 115 pounds. And they opened the show, one of the Nitro show, and brought the house down. And everybody loved it. the bookers, all the, agent, they were all girls got a standing ovation when they came back to the back. And they said, man, I said, how long those girls are here for? I said, well, they're here for a week. I said, well, we're going to put them on every TV. I said, great. So next day, I think 2 days later, we went to a show, and I told the girls the good news, and girls not on the show, and I go, hey, Kevin, I was talking to Kevin Sullivan. I said, Kevin, what's the deal? He said, Sonny, so we can't put the girl on the show. I said, why is that? He says they're making our boys look bad.
Oh my God.
That's exactly what Kevin Sullivan said. Like, we can't put him on the show. Yeah.
That is funny.
Oh, wow.
Good story.
And I used to love Bull because she was like she was a big woman, but she moved like really well, and she was tough as shit too.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
She was a toughie.
Yeah, I was with her a couple months ago in Japan. And
nice.
believe it or not, she only, she's real thin now.
I saw recent pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, she tried to become a PGA golfer.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
she lived in the US for a while. And she's real good. Yeah, she's a real good golfer.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So what was the atmosphere like in the locker room in WCW when they were beating WWE every week?
Well, I think everybody was, I mean, you got to remember, whether you love or hate Eric Bischoff, if it wasn't for Eric Bischoff, and Nitro and all those innovating thing he did and beat WWE for 98 weeks, you got to remember that is the reason that was such a good time. I think it's the best time in wrestling.
Oh yeah,
The
definitely.
competition was great. Number one, it was the best time for the boys because they had two places to go, right? So
Yes.
they could get more money, and you got to remember, Eric Bischoff's the one who started guaranteed money.
Oh yeah, I know.
Back then that you got paid what your percentage of what the gate was. So there was no and you try to take that to a bank and try to buy a house or a car. Yeah, I'm a professional wrestler. Well, what do you make? Well, I get a percentage of the gate. Okay, great. What is that? Well, it depends. Yeah. You think bank is going to loan you money on that one?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But, no, I work for World Championship Wrestling. Here's my pay stub. I got 2-year contract. So yeah, okay, we'll loan you money on that. So he really changed the industry. If you look, he made millionaires out of a lot of people.
Oh yeah, he definitely did.
So.
Yeah, no, he really did. He made really good stars, and
sure.
He, the NWO, he created all that, and
NWO, Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And just having two places to go. So I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people don't know. A lot of the guys who went over to WWE or WWF, WWE, they got their contract and they got multi-year guarantee contract. One of the things people don't realize is when WWE bought WCW,
yeah,
a lot of those talent got called in office and said, hey, we have to renegotiate your deal. Some of those guys got their salary cut by 2/3.
Wow.
And some of the guys, like Perry said, and didn't stay, he left.
Yeah.
And I got him a job in Japan with New Japan Pro Wrestling. But the point I'm making is that, you have to give it to AEW. That gives talent two places to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Two major places to go. And granted, WWE is way up there and AEW is, far down second place as far as
Yeah.
viewership and that kind of thing. But still, you got to give it to Tony Khan, given the talent, place to go.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If you can only flip burger at McDonald's, you got problems. You could be the best burger flipper in the world, but
Yeah. 'Cause there's
thank
definitely no-
God for Arby's and Burger King.
Right. Exactly.
Oh man. So did you ever get a chance to work with or interact with Macho Man and Hulk Hogan?
Oh yeah, Randy was great. Hulk was great. Hulk wanted because when I was managing Ernest Miller, Hulk wanted to work with Cat
Oh, really?
and wanted to have a feud with him, and actually that was Hulk's idea.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Yeah. Randy was great. I'll tell you a quick story. I bought Randy Savage's motorcycle. The only motorcycle he actually had. He had a custom made for Sturgis.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I get a phone call from Eric Bischoff, and he tells me the story. Carlini in California built this Harley Davidson custom bike for Macho Man. Delivers all the way to Tampa. Randy comes out, looks at the bike, and oh yeah, I love this bike. Gets on it, starts the bike, and asks the guy, "So where's the reverse?" And the guy thought Randy was joking. And then he realized he wasn't. Says, "Well, no, there's no reverse on this bike. You got to walk it back, and because it was in his driveway." So he cranks the wheel to the left, start to walk back, and dumps the bike. Bike is running on the ground. Brand new bike, custom, $55,000. Randy gets off the bike and says, "Fuck it, I don't want it," and walks into his condo. Eric Bischoff calls me up because the guy called Eric, and he says, "Sonny, you still have your dealer license, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." "How'd you like to buy a bike?" And I ended up with the bike.
Oh, you ended up with Macho Man's bike.
Yeah, I still have it. With his title and his name and all that, I still have it.
Oh my God.
But he was such a cool guy. He knew that I bought the bike.
Yeah.
We were up in Minneapolis, and I lived in Iowa, about 100 miles south. And at the bar, he comes up and he goes, "You have my bike?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Let's go down there." I said, "I live about 100 miles south. It's it's a good 2-hour drive." He goes, "No, let's go down tomorrow morning." He gets in a car with me, drive all the way down to Mason City, Iowa. Did a promo with a newspaper and TV about his bike at the Harley Davidson shop, because I had a display there. And he says, and he's got his whole gimmick on.
Yeah.
And he said, "Where's your kids at?" Because he knew my kids from when we used to do all the TV taping from at Disney.
Yeah.
So, "Where's your kids at?" That's what, they're in school. "Let's go to their school." He went to their school and did the show and tell.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. All my kids had Macho Man Randy Savage for show and tell. Yeah. Road Warrior Hawk did the same thing. Came down here, put all his makeup on, the gimmick, went to my kids' show and tell.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Oh,
Wow.
even to this day, I will run into some kid, they're 28, 30 years old.
Yeah.
They'll come up to me and goes, "Hey, I'm so-and-so, I remember when you brought Randy Savage to school, and, I was 12 years old, Yeah. Cool guys, I mean, who does that?
I know, exactly.
Yeah, I know, very rare.
They're great guys.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. I remember the old WCW show Worldwide,
Worldwide.
and
Yeah.
Randy Savage actually fought your guy, the dragon, the old Ultimo Dragon. And I remember that match because I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is the first time that Macho Man ever fought him.
Right. Yeah, Randy was really cool, little nutty, but if you stayed on this side of his fence, you were good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, never piss him off.
No, no, if he didn't like you, you were in trouble.
Now, I heard so many stories about Ming. Like, was he like? There's so many different guys that say that Ming would beat up like cops and the whole bar. Like, there was a cop that maced him and he took out like the whole force. And like, was Ming really that tough?
Yeah, Ming got maced in Baltimore. I remember we were driving up and I see Colonel Parker. Remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
He's doing his whole gimmick on the parking lot. He's waving his handkerchief, and Ming is like, "Arr!" It's like a bunch of cops. Don't shoot him, please. And yeah, they would mace him, and he would take the mace away from the cop and mace himself. Yeah. Because those guys used to break coconut with their heads, right? When they were kids in Tonga. So they have no sinus nerves, all gone. So you can mace them all day long and they're like, smells funny. He bit off a guy's nose. Remember that he bit off a guy's nose.
I know. I heard that story. Yeah.
Threw a guy out of 3-story windows in a bar in Japan.
Oh my God.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. He really was a tough guy.
If he drinks, he's nuts. There's no, it's like, yeah, drinking beer is great. But if you give him fire water,
Yeah.
The liquor stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been told and seen stuff that he had one of the Nasty Boys' cousin or brother or somebody just jukebox, right? He had a guy, he would goozle people, stick his finger in a guy's mouth and a throat, Oh yeah, and he, and he had the guy bent over backward over the jukebox, and everybody, and you can't reason with him, he killed the guy. Guys gurgling and shit, And finally, I think Randy Savage went home and says, "Ming, it's okay." And he goes, "Brother, I go to my room now." Good idea.
That's funny that it was actually Randy that calmed him down.
Yeah, Randy's the voice of reason.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you remember Big Paul, the Giant, got in trouble?
Yeah.
Punching some guy? What I don't understand is, why would you want to fight a wrestler anyway? Now, first of all, most of them is pretty good shape, and even back then they were really strong on kayfabe. They weren't going to lose to anybody, because that's their persona, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, that's how they earn money.
Yeah.
So you're not, Masa Saito got in a fight with a bunch of Nebraska football team in Japan.
Oh my God.
Hawk was his partner back then. Somebody insulted his wife, and Masa snapped like 6 ankles. That was remember that was his thing. Submission thing was his ankle lock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but all he had to do is snap them, and he snapped about 6 of them. None of these kids played on a football game in Japan. It was Japan Bowl or something. Wow. Nebraska football team. Yeah, they don't. They're for real, man. They don't. I told one guy one time, I said, "Why would you want to mess with me?" Legit story, right?
I know.
Why would you want? Look at him. Yeah. Right? And goes, he's just another guy. I said, "Listen, think of this for a minute." I actually said this to a guy. I said, "Think of this for a minute, okay? His grandfather used to eat people. and Tonga, the cannibals.
Oh,
So why would you want to fight somebody who used to eat people?
that's true.
Well,
Wow.
that's still running, that bloodlines, and it's in his blood.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Do
Yeah.
you think he gives a fuck to bite your nose off? Are you freaking kidding? Are you that stupid?
That's like Mike Tyson biting Holyfield's ear off,
Yeah.
which he did.
Yeah, Mike Tyson looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. He looks great now.
Yeah. Why would you want to fight him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
think-
one of those things.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
this-
if Mike Tyson and Ming would team together, they would destroy the
Oh.
locker room.
Oh my God. Yes.
No, it's not in comparison, really. I mean, there's a lot of tough guys out there, but
Yeah.
I mean, these, like I said, they're not going to lose. They'll dig your eyeballs out, bite your nose, rip your testicles. You know what I mean? It's not like you're fighting a guy. You're not doing this. There's no rules. They're
Yeah.
not going to lose. They're going to dig your eyeball out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, if I saw Ming at the bar, I would never, ever, ever even try to pick a fight with him.
No, just buy him dinner and, be on the good side. If I get
Exactly.
in trouble,
Always
hey, I need you to be on my side. He'll say, okay, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or
That's
another round of ribs.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching WCW. I used to always love watching like Muda and Liger. Like whenever WCW would have them on there, like my guys are always Muda and Liger and Chono and
Look at this. Look
Kenru
what Liger
and
gave me. Look
Tenzan
what
and-
Liger gave me. Can you see it?
Oh, the mask.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the actual mask that he wore in the ring.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and there's a couple of collections. There's another one up there. Look at that. That's
Yeah.
Andre the Giant mask.
When he was the big
He was a
machine,
big-
right?
He was a
Yeah.
giant machine.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
giant machine. Yeah.
There's a tiger mask.
Yes.
That's the actual picture of. I got that from him. So all these masks are, sitting on my desk. But yeah, they are.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. I love that.
Yeah, crazy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wow. That's rare.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the only mask Andre the Giant ever wore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who else? Who was the guy that teamed with him when he was the giant machine? It was giant
Well, yeah.
machine and big machine.
Yeah, the part of the I'm trying to think of his name.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I can't remember
Part
who
of
it was.
they were the Road Warrior knockoff. Who were they?
Oh wait, Smash and X.
Yeah, Smashing Axe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Wow.
And now everyone takes pictures on their phones,
Right.
selfies.
Selfies,
But
yeah.
you were one of the first to ever actually do that.
Yeah, I was doing that mainly, because you remember Japanese tourists would always have a camera.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. And I would come up with that back then, the Instamatic, the throwaway Fuji camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do we call it selfie now because that was before the cell phone, right? So
Exactly.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That's awesome.
And I always like to ask guests this when I have them on because I mean you can see with my background I'm a big horror guy. Are there
Yeah.
any horror films that you like to watch?
Well, I mean, the fun stuff is like Dan Madigan, who used to be, he was the writer for the first WWE movie, Kane. He was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
writer for that. He was the writer for WWE. And matter of fact, I just talked to him yesterday. The the Chainsaw Massacre. Remember the Texas
Oh
Chainsaw
yeah,
Massacre?
of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big horror movie guy, but yeah, those kind of, if you really look at it, got serious, it's kind of funny, scary movie. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And what about songs? Like, what kind of songs do you like listening to? Like, what's on your playlist?
Oh, I'm like easy listening kind of thing. I like the guy who's in the court today. Sharon. It uh, the- uh, um, I mean, just easy listening is what I like. Or that, or I go back to my fun days as a kid. In my 20s.
Yeah.
ABBA and Stevie. Ste- what is it? The Stevie. Um,
Stevie
Stevie Wonder.
Wonder?
Yeah, yeah, Stevie Wonders. I like a lot of those easy listening music. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Eagle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones. And do you like, are there any sports you like to watch?
Well, of course, we watch. We love Otani right now. The phenom. The California Angels. It's breaking all the records, and
Yes.
you got to remember, I'm a Japanese guy, so we always
Yeah.
think. My gimmick was that we were superior beings, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
So he fits right into my mode.
And so, like, are you a big fan of the food too? The Japanese food?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Jap food. I was going to say, man, I said you're going to have to cut the thing short. But no, I like, Japanese foods are the best, right? I mean, yeah. Remember, 30 years ago, you couldn't find a sushi bar.
I know.
But now they're like, all the Chinese restaurant became sushi bars now.
Oh yeah.
So the
I
big
noticed
secret
that.
is-
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a big secret. Find a Japanese restaurant with a Japanese chef. Then you're going to get real good food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't go to the Italian restaurant. Is the Mexican guy is making the food. No disrespect to the Mexican. If I want to go eat a good Mexican food, I want to make sure the guy's, the chef is the Mexican.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want Japanese guys making my burritos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why does my burrito got soy sauce on it? What the hell? You know what I mean? So yeah.
And what about drinks? Is there a certain drink that you like to drink?
Well,
at the bar?
I like Japanese beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit. It's not like European, Irish beer, but it's a little bit more heavier.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit, when you have a couple, 2, 3 of those, you feel like you had a drink. You can drink Coors Light 6-pack, and all you do is run into the bathroom.
Exactly. Yes. And Billy, do you have any final questions that you want to ask Sonny?
So, what's your favorite vacation spot that you like to travel to?
I used to take my kids to Atlantis in Bahamas. What I like about that is that you get there. So I'm not a kind of guy, like my kids like to go hiking, and they go to Mexico and they want to go to a pyramid. No, I just want to look at the pyramid. I don't need to go in it or climb it or none of those things. That's too much work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My wife told me my daughter was in Costa Rica.
Okay.
A couple of days ago, and they was sending all these pictures, right? And she says, I went hiking, we saw this waterfall, we went swimming, and I said, great. it's, I said, did you find any piranhas or anything like that? I like swimming pool. I can see the water
Yeah.
and somebody bring me the cocktails. You know what I mean? That's, yeah, what I like about, I started to tell you, what I like about like Atlantis Hotel is that you go there, there's a big water park, right in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got a lot of good food there and beaches right there and everything is right there. You don't go anywhere. I hate going on vacation and have to go somewhere. I don't need that. I like to go on vacation, get to my freaking hotel. You know what I mean? Have dinner, drink, repeat.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
You know what I mean?
what you want to do. Yes.
Some people like to go on vacation and work their ass off. I'm not
I
into
know
that.
you're right about that.
Yeah, I like, I used to go to Atlantis, go by the beach, first day. I get a chair, they have those low chairs that you sit in it, so the water just kind of laps your butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I order a 6-pack of beer on a bucket on ice, and I sit in the beach and watch people walk by. And the guy will come over, the attendant will come over, and goes, I said, hey, my name is Sonny. You can call me Sonny. And I said, I want to make sure there's at least 3 beers in my bucket if I'm sitting here. And when it gets down to 2, you bring me one more.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I said, just so, no disrespect to you, I'm going to call you Raul.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Sonny, you're Raul, and Raul, go give me my bucket. I'll be back here tomorrow at 1, and just, that's a vacation to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't need to go hiking. I don't need to go swim with the dolphins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I want to see dolphin, I'll go to a zoo or aquarium. That's good.
You don't want to pet any sharks either, right?
No. No, those snapping turtles will rip your nuts right off. Especially, especially, they think it's one of them little, little fish. Your dick's hanging out there, and they're gonna snap it right off. And they got all this, parasites and all this stuff. No, I like my water swimming pool with the chlorine. I like it. Time to time, some kid's gonna be fixing it. That's about the worst part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all the risk I need to take.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, what's the sense going all the way 2-3 miles to get somewhere where you could just go to your hotel and it's there already?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, my wife wanted to go, hiking. I said, yeah, go and just, so don't you want to go see it? I said, I seen it. I seen the picture already. It's not like, I don't need to touch it. It's not like, praying wall in Egypt or wherever.
Right,
Israel or somewhere. I don't, it's okay. I'm good.
And is there anything you want to plug? Like I know you said you got a couple appearances that are coming up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in New Jersey on the 20th and Baltimore on 21st, and I'll be there with Baltimore Dragon. I think I'm sitting with Tori Wilson too.
Okay.
Yeah, most beautiful. I think
she looks amazing.
Yeah, no, she when she joined WCW back then, she was a fitness model.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, she's 10 out of 10 for sure.
Definitely, yes.
And she still looks, great.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
She's like in the best shape ever.
Yeah. Tasty keyboard too. I was one of the judge when she joined. She was on. How she got the WCW was she entered a contest for Nitro Girl.
Yeah.
And I was one of the judge.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I said, man, you know, I didn't know her name. I just said the girl with the leg.
The girl with the leg. Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, it started right here on her waist. You know what I mean?
I
It was-
know,
it was
exactly.
like her head, shoulder, boobs, and the legs from weight just straight down. That was it. Nice people.
That's true.
Yeah, she's got legs.
And she knows how to use them.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
I'm having a lot of bad thought right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, listen, Mandy, thanks for having me.
Definitely,
yeah.
Sonny. Thank you so much for doing this. Like, it's been so much fun. Like, you're
Well, we-
absolutely great, and we're definitely gonna come see you in Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, we'll go out and, you know, we'll go for talent hunting.
Okay,
All right.
okay. And
Maybe we'll find another Stacy Keebler.
exactly. And we won't pick any fights with guys that look like Ming.
No, no.
No.
Yeah,
Or
you want
Macho.
Ming on your side, trust me.
All right, Sonny. Again,
All right,
thank you so
great.
much for
Thanks for
doing it.
having me. And great.
Definitely.
I'm glad I got to give you some little giggles and
Oh,
some
definitely.
insight.
Yes, I needed that.
Yeah. All right. You guys take care and say hi to all your fans. Okay.
Definitely. Thanks,
Oh.
man.
All right. All right. Peace, guys.
Peace.
Talk to you later.
Later.